Is renting really better than buying $1 million home? Hey, what's up, everybody? Shannon Robnett here, bringing you over 28 years of real estate insights. And today, we're looking into a topic that's causing quite a stir in the real estate world. I recently came across a post that sparked a lot of discussions online, and it made the point that if you were to buy $1 million home, you'd have to put $200,000 down, deal with a $5,600 mortgage payment, and pay an additional $1,000 a month or so in property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and these kinds of things. But let's compare some things that led to this debate about why buying and renting may be different and might make more sense. As someone who's been in the real estate for over 28 years, I believe it's key in making smart decisions in today's market to understand the bigger picture and applying the principles of the intelligent investor framework. This is a strategy that investors think long-term and think about financial risks and make decisions that lead to a sustainable wealth-building process. So if you're ready for smarter investment choices, let's dive in and get an understanding of the market dynamics that can transform your approach to real estate investing. Now let's talk about the numbers. The disparity between buying and renting has never been greater. Renting $1 million home right now is about $3,900 a month, and I know that sounds unbelievable, but it's truly the reality. That's what my house costs to rent, and it's about $1.5 million. It's a beautiful place, it's right on the river, but that's not the point. The first thing is, what is the price of buying a home? Sure, the concept of buying a home sounds appealing, a mortgage with a fixed cost, after 30 years you own the home, but that doesn't really tell the whole story. You're likely going to put 10 to 20% of the purchase price down, which in the case of $1 million home can be up to $200,000. Then you're locked into a mortgage at a rate of 7%, which historically over the last 10 years is kind of high, especially right now. If you don't put 20% down, you will have to pay private mortgage insurance or PMI, which can add hundreds of dollars to your monthly payment. Now, typically in jumbos like this, where you're paying $1 million, you're not going to be able to do that without putting more than 20% down. And let's not forget about the property taxes, which can be thousands of dollars a year, insurance costs that go up over time, repairs that are inevitable, and maintenance that comes with owning a home. That's a lot of hidden costs that many people just don't consider. Now let's break down the math. A $400,000 home, if you put down $40,000, your mortgage payment is around $2,400 a month. Add PMI, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, you could easily be in excess of $3,600 a month. Compare that to renting a similar home for just $2,100 per month. By renting, you're saving over $1,500 a month, and that's a huge difference. Now, the biggest difference is, what do you do with it once you've saved the money? That's a story that we're going to get to here in a little bit. But you might also be thinking, but I'm throwing money away. However, over the first years of buying a home, you're only paying down a tiny fraction on your mortgage. This is called an amortization schedule. You can get this online at just Google an amortization schedule, and you can figure it out, and you can look at how much of that payment is actually going toward the principal, and it's surprisingly low. So when you get a lower interest rate, you're getting more toward your principal paid out. But right now it's about $35 a month. In fact, it takes about 20 years before you start to see the true benefit of owning a home. On the flip side, if you rent, you can invest that $1,500 a month of your savings in, let's call it a Vanguard fund at about 8%, 9.5% is their 10-year average. And after 15 years, that money could grow to over $600,000, and that's enough to buy a home outright. Contrast that with after 15 years of owning a home, you're about halfway, we'll call it halfway through the mortgage, and you still have a large balance left. So let's talk about rent inflation. Yes, rents do go up over time, but did you know that fewer than 50% of landlords raise rents by more than 3% each year? And most rent increases come from tenant turnover, not from existing tenants being hit by massive hikes. Now let's talk about 18, 19, and 20. There was some massive rent pops there, but they got you to a place where we are at in the market right now. And we haven't seen rents going up substantially for the last couple of years. They're back in line. So we had some massive growth, but if you average that out over 10 years, you're going to come in at about this 3% average. So even if you raise rents 3% annually, rents still end up being cheaper over 15 years than buying a assuming that you invest the difference. Now let's address home appreciation. People love to say that homes appreciate 5% a year or $30,000 on average, but when adjusted for inflation, home prices only increase about 0.5% to 1% annually, and that's taking data from 1987 to about 2009. And even with more recent price increases, the stock market has outperformed real estate by a wide margin over the same period. Renting, on the other hand, offers flexibility. You pay a fixed amount every month, and when your lease is up, you can leave. You're not tied down to the property. Plus, renting puts less responsibility on you for things like repair and maintenance. I don't deal with the siding issues on my house. I don't deal with the lawn care. I don't deal with the fence. I don't deal with anything. So when you add that in, with rent competition also on the rise, you could score a great deal and save a little bit of money in the process. However, buying does have its advantages, and nobody's going to convince you otherwise, because it's just not true that there aren't advantages. If you own it, you own it. You're the one that gets to dictate how long you live there. Nobody's going to tell you they need you to move out. Those are things that are true. So if you're planning to stay in one place for a long time, at least 10 to 15 years, owning forces you to save through your mortgage monthly payments, because it is applying to the principal. In conclusion, while buying a home can still be good in the long run, renting gives you the freedom to invest, save, avoid hidden costs, and build wealth over time. So if you're just getting started or looking to invest, renting can be a more financially sound choice in today's market. So thanks for tuning in. If you found this information helpful, be sure and like and subscribe, and drop any questions and comments below. If you stay informed, you stay empowered, and you keep making smart real estate decisions.